Good afternoon and welcome to SM Live. Back for live stream Friday, show number 14. It's great to have you with us again today. So lots of new content for us hopefully to get through. We've got Howard with me as normal. I'm just going to call up some information actually. So this SalesMaster live streams are all available on our YouTube channel. For those of you that haven't yet subscribed, please do so. This is where we can share tips and tricks with you. Just get you up to speed as a super user and getting the most out of the system. My name is Chris Stott. I'm the SalesMaster CEO. So yeah, great to have you with us this afternoon. Howard, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Afternoon, everyone. Great to see everyone on the channel.
Fantastic, and we've got a great show today. I hear we've been busy with implementations, I gather. So lots of kind of recap to do with the new users.
Yeah, so hopefully we're going to take this opportunity to really go over the system in a lot of detail, as we would normally do from a training perspective as well. A full StockBook overview today or this afternoon, sorry. But yeah, with lots of implementations that have occurred this week and lots going on next week and for the foreseeable future, it felt like a really good opportunity to system. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Fantastic. We've got Annette with us as usual, so feel free to ask any questions. So those of you that are watching live on YouTube, just click in the chat section and that'll send the questions through to Howard and I for us to put up on the screen, and we can take them as we go. If you're not watching live, then just drop a comment in the normal YouTube video and we'll look through that and try and cover it off next time. So as I say, if you subscribe to the channel, that's our way of keeping in touch with you, but you'll also be notified of new features and shows as we go, but also it's an opportunity for you to put some suggestions in and content and make this a bit more interactive to cover off those particular questions you may have. We had some good sessions actually, Howard, with some of the implementations on live streams actually, didn't we? So which was really encouraging to get all the users chatting through as part of the launch. So
yeah, it's been really useful to use YouTube for that reason, really, to do all the training sessions, and of course people get to watch them live, and then obviously rewatch, and anyone that misses it can go back and watch the live dedicated stream that we do for them. So yeah, it's been really effective, and long may that continue. And we've got a number 3 or 4 coming up in the very near future. So yeah, this is a good opportunity to cover off more of a kind of less dedicated but wider,
more generic sort of overview and introduction to the platform.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, then, do you want to set your screen sharing across, and then we'll make a start.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully it's going to seamless today compared to last week where we had a few challenges for any of you that were watching. So it's particularly with the audio. So right, here we go. Yeah, we're up and running. Yeah. So I can see your browser and the picture-in-picture. So cool.
Straight in. Just make it nice and big for everyone. So just going to log straight into the system. So absolutely how we would do on any dedicated or any training session or live stream that we would show. So we tend to go into live accounts because by the time we're doing training for dedicated sessions, we have the data in. So this obviously just using demo data to have a play with and show some of the features for everyone. So very simply, I'm going to start as soon as I log into the system. I'm straight into vehicles, so exactly where I want to be within the system with a full list of stock that I have access to see. So I think this one contains just under sort of 21,500 vehicles. So a good subset of vehicles across many different brands.
And they are new and used cars. Just I think it's worth literally from the top the whole data set where we're in this environment, we're pulling in new vehicles, used vehicles, demos, courtesies, etc., and all the various feeds obviously to get that data in. So this list that you're looking at isn't created in any way in the application manually. It comes from data feeds that we import into our platform.
Yeah. So and these ones are driven by the manufacturer feeds or by DMS feeds and various other third-party feeds as well. So just collecting all the data from various systems and putting them into one place for everyone to have access to. just like this. So yeah. So I'm just going to open up my full view of the box. So I just click on those. I just click on those 3 white lines, and it just gives me the full view of the data of the screen. So you can see here we've got vehicles and reports and settings that we've been through reports numerous times before, or sometimes a few sessions before. So we're just going to be looking at just purely within the StockBook element, which is the vehicles. So it takes you straight there. So no need to navigate through the system at all. So we're straight into the vehicle record, into the vehicle list view. And then when I scroll down the list, it just keeps loading and loading the subset of vehicles that I've got permission to see. So you can see we've got these in alphabetical order. These can be configured in any order required from a customer's perspective, or from a retailer or a manufacturer or even a funder. They can have it in the sequence that they require. So we do see a lot that are in days in stock order, so showing the oldest vehicle at the top as opposed to alphabetically, but these ones are in alphabetically ordered, but we can change that shortly. So we have obviously the list of vehicles. So out of 21,000, it's going to take me some time to find what might be the subset of vehicles that I'm looking for. So we've created the search box, which works exactly the same as Google or Amazon or iTunes or the John Lewis website. You can just type in what you're looking for. And what we also create is a number of token headers, support headers as well. So as I start to type in a manufacturer, you'll see that it gives me a choice. So starting to type in Volkswagen, for instance, it will give me that ability to be able to select that straight away. But I'm going to switch slightly, and I'm going to go for BMW this time. So I'm going to go straight into BMW, and you can see here that will just drill down remove anything that wasn't BMW, and just show me the what we've got in BMW stock available. So just over 2,500 vehicles we've got in there. So everything is searchable, and token searching in SalesMaster. So anything I type in, it will find the word or even the number. So if I was looking for the BMW 3 Series, for instance, I just type in 3, and it will just drill down and show me all the 3 Series BMWs we've got available in this environment. So you can see now it's drilled down from that 2,500 down to just over 300 vehicles, and then we can just keep going. So we could look for the 320i's, for instance, and it'll just keep taking me down. So now we're down to 37. You can see, just to bring you to a point on top of the stock here that we've got visible now, you can see one of the first boxes you come to is the color swatch of the vehicle. And if I hover over the top of that, it will show you the actual color of the car. And then, again, this is driven by manufacturer data, so you can see it's the manufacturer wording for that color of the vehicle. Then obviously the vehicle description, straightforward, bringing everything through, so it keeps it very consistent from where it's being imported from. So you hopefully get a good match and a good consistency on that data as well. And then as you mentioned, Chris, at the beginning, you've got the stock type of those vehicles as well. So this has got both. I haven't indicated whether I wanted to see new or I wanted to see used. I've just left it open. So I'm seeing all different stock types across that as well.
That's quite unique, actually, having like a single list of stock types, because I think if you as demand is quite stock is quite tricky at the moment with some of the supply issues on new cars. So obviously having that position where you can see a later used vehicle or a demonstrator or something, giving you that option to switch, or provide a car to a customer sooner if it's coming from your used stock or your demo stock pool. So to be able to see that, but you can of course segregate that into separate views if you do operate sort of standalone separate teams, or if your customer is specifically looking for a new car and won't accept anything else.
Yeah, absolutely, coming in for the new car. But yeah, again, if I start typing in new, you can see you can select the stock type new, and it will just show you the new vehicles on that as well. These are interactive, so these tokens that we create, or I'm creating all the time, if I wanted to backstretch it and go back, I can just remove them, and they will just stretch back to where it was. So it's creating that token all the time for you. So very interactive on how you can navigate through the system. Makes it really, obviously, really simple with that as well.
And you mentioned, I think, when we at the start of this was, from the outset, SalesMaster, it's designed to be really intuitive. So whilst we're doing these kind of overviews for you don't need to go on a training course as such to try and use it. As Howard said, it's just like using a modern website. So, but obviously with some of the other tooling around the tokens and the views that you can change, there's a bit more advanced functions that you can get from it. But yeah, the intention was to make it super easy to use and intuitive, super fast, and always working, so no downtime. So those are the kind of three key parts to the SalesMaster platform.
Yeah, absolutely on that. I know when I'm doing training or demonstrations, and the same for others in the SalesMaster business, that people will say, well, it's all well and good you doing it. When we get our hands on it, and it's great to be able to say it's as simple as as I'm showing, really. It doesn't take much to learn it, but it's always good to have a nice overview like this. Just to give you a few tips and tricks on the system, which I'll show shortly. So you'll notice, actually, I'll just finish the headers that we have in our display at the minute. So the mileage of the vehicle. So we have mileage in there as a header, purely because I'm showing used cars as well as new. Obviously, the new cars, a lot of them are scheduled and in pipeline. So within SalesMaster, we don't just show vehicles that are on site and landed. We show vehicles at the point that they start to be confirmed for build. So you can see lots of different statuses here. Yes, these ones are BMW statuses. But it works exactly the same on whatever brand that you're working within. It will show the statuses that I'm sure you'll be more common with and understand. So we bring that. We tend to always use on site as they do reach that point, though, and then the model year of the vehicle at the end there. So yeah, we can redesign this shortly. So just continuing on the search function, to be able to remove something from your view of the data. So you'll notice I've got lots of vehicles that are flagged as sold. Obviously, if I wanted to just see sold vehicles, I can do that. I can select just sold, and it'll just show me the 19 that are sold. But if I just take that away and I want to remove the sold vehicles, so I'm just looking for available, I can do that in two different ways. I can do that by selecting show me all the vehicles that have got a sales status as available. But what we tend to train people to use is use the negative searching of sold. So before you do type in sold, if you say minus sold, like so, that will just remove all the sold vehicles as well. So just giving you a clear view of everything that's available for sale, really. Nothing is under negotiation here at this point. So we know these are all up for offering. I can put these under negotiation, which we'll do in a second. Some other little tips and tricks as well, or one that I like to show is the color searching. You could look for that's a bronze vehicle. I'm just going to have a look what I've got in my. Okay, I've got an orange one there. If I look for blue, I can see there's a couple of blue, 6 blue ones in there. It will just show me all the blue vehicles like that. But if I wanted to stretch that a little bit more and I wanted to look for a selection of colors, I can simply do that by typing in orange. So I'd think, okay, I typed in blue, then I'm going to type in orange. I know there's an orange vehicle there. But what I've done there is I've contradicted myself because I've typed in blue. So it's just showing me the blue vehicles. And then I've typed in orange to look for that orange one. And it's no longer there. So I've contradicted it. Now, the way you can handle that is if you remove the searches back out. So remove those colors back out and you select a way of selecting both is if you say or before you do the next token. So blue or orange, it will create one token and show you both colors. And you can do that on multiple different searches as well. So, if you're putting in, you can put in as many ors as you want to look for certain colors. We tend to find that it's actually negative colors that people are looking for. So, they're looking for a BMW 320i, but they don't want one in red. Obviously, you just do that by doing minus red as a token as such. So
nice.
I can take them away. Now, before we go into the tabs on the right hand side here, before we start showing to them, we're going to go into one of the vehicles. So I might just pick on this one actually. So if I click into the vehicle, it gives me a bit more of an overview of that vehicle. Now these vehicles have been cat matched and built that way. So it gives me a lot of detail here on the vehicle show on that, and a bit of a breakdown of the pricing. But what we tend to find that lots of people have their photos stored here as well. Certainly from a used car perspective, you tend to find the reel of the images sitting on here as well, which is quite handy when you're in a showroom and you're looking at a vehicle that may belong to another site. It's a good way of showing that. So this just gives you a lot more information on that specific vehicle. So, all of this information is available on the front page across all of the vehicles, but this is just showing it for this specific individual one that I'm looking at. So you can see here it's got the color, it's got the interior of the vehicle, the model, the transmission, even the chassis number or VIN number, and of course the COM number as well. And where the vehicle is based. So as I say, some of this information is already shown on my default on the front page, but a bit more specific information in there as well. Now, before we move on to the next tabs, we've got these icons up the top here as well, and you've got these arrows here. And what they do is, if you, as I press them and move, you'll see here it's jumping down my list that I've got on I'd say the front page, but behind. So in the background here, I can just jump down the vehicles. So rather than coming out and going in, I can simply just navigate through them as well by doing that. Then you have the next one is the PDF spec sheet. So if you wanted to download a spec sheet on this vehicle, you can simply do that. I seem to have just
not on that one.
No, not on that one. Yeah, I didn't want to do that, so hopefully I'm going to jump back straight in. Now I'm going to demonstrate how quick I can do that search again.
Oh, you could also show a recent search thing, actually, couldn't you, on the rollover on the vehicles menu? But yeah.
Well, I can get down. That's how quick I can do it, and you can do it using the system. But actually, Chris is absolutely right. If you hover over the vehicles, you see here it will show the previous 15 vehicles that you were in. So if I just wanted to jump straight back to that one, I can click on it, and it will just take me straight to that vehicle.
And that last view, actually, the last few 6 vehicles was quite good, because that would recall the actual search just above that.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. So yeah, so I'm going to go back in. So that's the PDF spec sheet. I won't touch that again. But and then the next one, I'll bypass the edit vehicle. That's more to do with updating some information on the specific vehicle, and some use it for sharing third parties as well across media platforms. But we built some fantastic tools now on the front page where you can do that in bulk and various other ways. That's just a way of doing it on an individual vehicle. So cool. I'll move straight on to sales status.
You probably do your full screen actually on the browser, just to give a full view. That's the only way you went.
I've dropped. Yeah. At least it kept my face in there. So I didn't kick myself completely off. But you can see here, as soon as I select to go on to change the sales status or to have a look at the sales status, you can see here I've got 5 options to do to be able to update and change on this vehicle. So I've got available. Well, the vehicle is already available, so I don't need to necessarily do that. I've got protected. We tend to not to see protected used too often as a individual update, because we pick that up from data feeds. So our feeds come in, if they're tagged as showroom vehicles or they're tagged as demos, we tend to protect them directly for the account. But that can be configured as required by each individual account, of course, and division. So you can protect the vehicles. But the one we're going to go to now is putting a vehicle under negotiation. So it's exactly as it says on the tin. We want to hold this vehicle for a specific inquiry or a customer. So once I put that vehicle under negotiation, you'll see here it will put a padlock on that vehicle, which will prevent it from being updated. but you'll see on the front screen now, you can see that that vehicle is under negotiation. So everyone that's in the system is aware of that vehicle being under negotiation. And of course, if I'm sharing that that vehicle with anyone else, they'll see that that's under negotiation as well. So it's starting that real time visibility of your stock. Now that will stay under negotiation for a period of time that you define. So within the retail, we tend to find that around 2 hours. But we've seen variations of that, certainly more recently, an hour and a half or 3 hours even. And some of the other big programs that we do, they can be days.
It usually depends on the stock type, doesn't it? I think depending on where the car, what kind of stock it is, as to how frequent or how short or long you want that whole period to be.
Yeah, and so after that period of time that is defined by the account, it just trips back and becomes available. So you do often hear of nerves when you first show this to say, all my sales execs can put vehicles under negotiation. They're all going to be locked for a period of time. But what I'm going to show you later on in this video is actually how you can track that and see if there is lots going under negotiation by the same individual. So it's all audited and time stamped as well. So yeah, you don't have to worry too much. It's always a great practice to start using this, because everyone in the same system, everyone, the ability to secure a vehicle for a customer is the comfort zone. And knowing after that period of time, it's just going to trip back and become available anyway. So you're not going to have lots of locked vehicles.
Yeah, it certainly stops that, prevents the double selling of stock across a wider sales team. So if you've got multiple sites accessing the same stock to maximise the ability to sell from your own group stock pool, but also on other your online sales channels. So if the cars are being pushed to the website as well, and having that tight connection. We've covered that previously in our omni-channel live stream. So, but yeah, definitely, pretty essential now, where you've got two different sets of data being, or two different sales channels open to the same set of data with online and in the showroom.
Yeah, just keeping everything in sync, then all collectively together, just by everybody in the one place and having access to that. So yeah, you can, because of my permissions, obviously I get to see or to make any updates on those vehicles as well. So obviously putting the vehicle to sold as well. So obviously, hopefully, vehicle goes under negotiation. A large percentage of them then would be moved to sold. So whilst you're going through that, either that test drive or that negotiation with the customer, and then moving it obviously to sold in the end. Obviously knowing it trips back to available if this isn't done. So yeah, you can just then hit the sold button, and it will do exactly the same thing. It will display back to everyone that vehicle is now sold. And of course, when it comes to linking that with the omni channels, we don't share sold vehicles, so that comes off the website or the third party as soon as that vehicle is updated.
It's quite interesting. I know when we were attended a customer meeting this week, when we were talking about how that sales status is updated, and obviously you've demonstrated it there in the application, which most people would do that because it's really simple just to do it in the application, and you get all the full audit trail as Howard's demonstrated. But we've also got integrations available to automatically set those sales status changes. So we've got integrations with inquiry management systems, and also with the website, as Howard's mentioned, and the dealer management system, of course. So a number of different ways to do that, but in many cases it tends to be just use SalesMaster as the master inventory, and then update the sales status live so that everyone can see and benefit from that real-time data sharing. Okay.
So I've put that vehicle to sold now, and what I'm going to do is just jump straight into the activity, and you can see all of those different bits that have occurred on that vehicle. So you can see, 4 minutes ago I put that vehicle under negotiation, and then I unlocked it, and then put it from under negotiation back to sold. So you can see it's all tracked, and it's all tracked by the user that did that action in the system as well. So yeah, you can always report on them. We do have a timer on sold vehicles as well, because we're looking at the factory feeds or the DMS feeds or third party feeds even, where to confirm that vehicle is sold. So that can be set to a defined period of time as well. So that could be 6 days, 4 days, whatever the process is on the account. So if that isn't tagged or reserved within that period, it would trip back and become available again as well. So that's always a nice little safety catch of vehicles being marked sold that don't get to the end of the month and suddenly realise they're not sold. So that's a good way of that
Cool.
working for you as well. So I'll leave that one as sold at the minute. Just on a point on the other top line here, you've got the overview of the vehicle, obviously the equipment on the vehicle. These are just cap matched on this one, but within the live account it would be manufacturer code led on that, and you can see anything there. And of course they're all searchable on the front page as well. And then photos. So any images that have been loaded into the system. We've shown this on a previous video where you can interact with those images as well, but this is where they'd all be placed for you as well. I haven't got any on this one.
And again, same applies, can be uploaded directly into the system, or in most cases, our customers have an image provider where you're getting all the media, so both photographs and video captured. We've got the API integrations that will pull those images and videos into SalesMaster. So they'll just be there automatically.
Yeah, which is great. And then to be able to navigate through them in the application is really straightforward as well. And then you can share them out of the system as well.
Yeah, and that's one of the other points with the sharing. Actually, we've covered it before on the stock sharing live stream, but also that master inventory so critical when you've got you need to have one place for all of this information to keep it in sync. So being able to pull together the vehicle, accurate vehicle information from the factory data, but also capturing enhanced cap coding if required further downstream, also the image and video content, and the live sales statuses and the offer prices. All of that information is kept in one place, which you can then share within your business in StockBook, but also the tight integrations with the website and the online marketplaces keep all of those key critical kind of data attributes in sync.
Yeah, and it makes it really key for reporting on the back end of that as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
From workflows and what's been sold, what's gone under negotiation within a period of time, and if you're in that one place and everyone's reacting in that one place, then all the reports are self-driven, which is great.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so back onto the front page. So going into the tabs are up the top right here. You can see the first or the last one on the far right here. You've got the ability to download that list of vehicles that you've got in your view as an Excel, as a PDF, or as a CSV. So really straightforward, and it'll come through however it's designed on your view of the data. So as it's laid out here. But of course, we're going to change that in a second. The next one is the vehicle options. So if you open up vehicle options, you simply just press on that tab, and it opens up the options on those vehicles as well. So what I might do or might want to do is I might want to open up that and then download the list. So I'm then downloading the list of 6 vehicles with all of the options on them as well.
Yes, if you wanted to do that as a PDF, for example, so you get a nicely formatted stock list of vehicles with the criteria and the columns that you've selected. Yeah, so that's a real quick kind of time saver of getting the data out of the system to be able to share with the customer or something. So
you can just simply do that. The next one is column chooser. So column chooser is where you've got your headers running across the top here, but you want to add some new ones or remove the ones that some of the ones that you're currently using. So this is just set as a default at the minute, so that can be configured however the account requires. But if we open up column chooser, it's quite a busy one. Lots of different headers that we can grab and we can pull into our view on the front page. So if I was looking at just new cars, for instance, I might want to take out mileage. And all I do is I just grab the header and just drop it in the box below, and it just redraws the page now without mileage in it. So you can see that. Now the headers run alphabetically, so you can see the first one is accounts and the bottom one there is WIP number. So if I'm looking for something specific like days in stock, DIS for instance, I should be able to find that pretty quick, and I can pick up that header and I can just drop that wherever I want to in my list view, and you can see now that it's adding days in stock into that into my main view. And I can sort that ascending and descending as well. So, having the oldest vehicles sitting at the top like so. And even if I don't have days in stock in that, it would still keep that sequence for me. So the oldest vehicle is now sitting at the top. So we can do that as well. But if you're looking for a header, you can't find it and you're hoping it's there, you can use the search function on your keyboard or on your PC or laptop. So I'm just going to look for order number, for instance, and you can see here it will highlight over the top of order number. So I can say, brilliant, that's what I want to bring in, and I'm going to add it to my list of that data as well. And there's lots and lots of headers that come through. So people we've added probably not a large percentage of everything that's available through the manufacturer feeds and through the third party and DMS feeds. So hopefully we've got everything, but if we want to add more, we certainly can do.
And these are all configurable, aren't they? Permissions based by role and things. So yeah,
they can be. Yes. So yeah, you've got things like standing values and non-recoverable costs, and we even do like vehicle margins as well. But yeah, they can be configured by role and access level. So things can be contained within that. We also do things like image counts as well. So if we wanted to see how many images are on these vehicles, I know that's always a real key one for our users of the system. They want to make sure they've got enough images on those vehicles. You can bring in basic price, what's available, build dates, build months, weeks, and so forth. So lots of data and information that's available in here. We've even started bringing through sort of SAT codes as well. More recently, RDE levels,
So whether a campaign factory kind of campaign
Yeah.
information or factory specific, and some of this will vary by manufacturer, but a bit like the factory statuses or the estimated delivery dates and things, we have different levels of data availability for different brands, but obviously we'll maximize that. So as much as we can get for you on the factory system feed will be populated in here. And that browser search where you were finding the column in Column Chooser, you can actually use the other kind of built-in browser functions as well with the just zooming in. I was going to say about that actually on the page, Howard, because that you've got quite a bit of space in between your fields. So either you could make it bigger, the whole browser, couldn't you? Or you can, if you did have loads of fields in there, you could zoom out on the browser to make it fit more columns in as well.
Yeah,
so
just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just a couple of other bits that I'll bring in just to really kind of change the view of the data. I've got cap ID in there. I can bring in vehicle percentage. How much of a completeness of a vehicle. I'll just drop that one at the end. Like so, and just lots of headers. So what I'd always kind of suggest to people starting up on SalesMaster is just play with this screen. It's only for you as the individual that's logged in, so you can see it's just myself. I can see that you'll probably notice up there we've got the build week as well. So you can see we're in build week 19. So it's just a nice little helper at the top right there. But yeah, it's always worth having to play around with this and moving the headers around as much as you want. You're not affecting anything. You're not going to break anything. You're just putting them in for your own use in this case. Which really brings me on to just the final one actually before we go into Search Builder is actually saving this view. So rather than me going into the system and searching this report and building this report every time, if I go into Save Views, I can actually hold that view of the data. So if I call it what I want, so I'm just going to say BMW 320i for instance, I can share that view to anyone else that's in my StockBook account. So you can see lots of different names and sites that are available in there, or I could just simply save it for myself. And if I do that, you'll see here, it will just add a little pin up the top here under my views. And then when I click on that, a number of things I can do. I can log into the system, I can run that report, or I can run that report whenever I'm in it. I could edit it, slightly change it, or I could pin it as a tab. Now, if I pin it as a tab, what you'll see is the next time I refresh my screen, like so, you see it takes us right back to where we started on the live stream. So, 21,500 vehicles, all starting with Audi, with lots of different headers. But I've now got this little new little tab up here that's BMW 320i. And if I click on that, you'll see here it'll do what I've inputted, and it'll do a run and add all the headers in that I've added in as well.
So that becomes like infinitely flexible with the kind of different views, and I think most of the time those would be you configure those in implementation as well, don't you, for some standard views?
We do. Lots of people using SalesMaster to powering the online channels, the omni channels. So we build lots of work queues that work exactly like this, and it's simply just click on them and see what needs updating, what's missing, some key requirement, whether it be images or a cap ID, or videos in some cases as well. So we build lots of these headers. You can have as many as you want running across the top. I've seen quite a few in some cases.
Yep.
Just opening the browser. But you don't, even if I cross off of that, it comes off of my main view, but is actually still stored under my views here.
Yeah, and I think we've probably done a view, a live stream on save views, but we can definitely do another more detailed session on that, around particularly with some of the, as you mentioned, the work queues to try and push vehicles through to the various stages, and also then use the same functionality for building the analytics and the reporting for managers, because it's a easy dashboard just to click through, and it will save the views that you've defined with the group by view as well, won't it? So
and it's great to obviously have these views as dynamic, because you only ever create them once, and I suppose that's what takes me onto another quick show as well on this, using Search Builder now. So if I look for the Volkswagens, I minus the sold again. I've got 1,600 of them, or nearly 1,700. But if I go to this spanner up here, which is called Search Builder, so next to the save views, and I click on that, I can now add some more some filters to my search. So I can do more dynamics specific searching. So if I use that drop down, you'll notice most of the headers that we had in Column Chooser are now available in here to search within as well. So you can use days in stock, for instance, so type in DIS, and it will allow you to do a range. So you could say, actually show me all my vehicles that are between 120 and 150, for instance, pending adoption. Or you can say, actually just show me my vehicles that are more than a certain number. So that's obviously the more commonly used one. If I'm looking for all the stock over 90 days, and this can differ from whether you're looking for used vehicles or new vehicles. You can set it however you want to, but you can see here I'm suddenly drilling down into all the vehicles that are over 90 days. So I've got quite a lot. This is a demo account, so we're just drilling down into more detail. And you can do various other things. So you can look at vehicle statuses or vehicle status codes. One that I really like, that I see a lot of people using specifically nowadays, is things like it has images or image count. So show me all my vehicles that have got less than 2 images on them, and then just applying that as a filter. So it's just saying, actually these need photoing or need imaging. The other one is then grouping the results, so keeping it stock over 90 days. I've got the ability to put that detail into a pivot table, like so. So on all lots of different attributes on that as well, and headers. So things like model name. So all my stock over 90 days by model is really, really powerful. Or I can certainly just do that by site. And if I group that, you'll see it will just bring through a count on each of those sites that I have within Volkswagen that have got stock over 90 days. That's not sold.
Brilliant. Well, it's certainly it's been a good insight, Howard, into overview of the kind of key functionality. But I think we'll probably have to leave it there for today now. We've
okay, no problem.
Hit the time. We're over 40 minutes on this one, so
sorry.
So that's all right. No, I think and as we said at the sort of start of the show, this is designed to be sort of an overview video to give you kind of, just if you've just gone live on SalesMaster, it's another chance to get familiar with the key functionality. There's obviously other videos on the channel that you can watch for more specific reporting, column chooser, save views, etc. So just shout though if you want us to do an interactive live stream on anything in particular. There's quite a few coming up, as Howard said, in the coming weeks and months, where we're planning to cover some more of the omni-channel piece, and also around the stock sharing and image integration, DMS integration, etc. So lots of cool topics that would be good to get you in. And don't forget to subscribe, because that's our way of obviously keeping in touch with you guys. Howard and the team have been remote fully now for well over 12 months. So so it'd be great to see you all when we can. But obviously until then, this is working pretty well for us, just to be able to have the interaction and the joint sessions. So feel free to suggest any ideas, and we'll put them into the running order. So okay, Howard, anything else from you, or are we there?
No, thank you very much. Good to see everyone. And as you mentioned, Chris, it'd be great to get any feedback. And we're happy to adjust our live streams and do what's required out there. Yeah, fantastic. Happy to help. Well, have great weekends, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you again on the next one. Thanks very much. Bye for now.